All right, good morning, everybody. We are here live with Karen Potts. Good morning, Karen. How are you?
Good morning. I live the dream, Carla.
Yeah, you do. We've been chatting a little bit before we started, so it's like, good morning again. Cheers with our coffee. So, this morning we're going to talk about all things health. I'm going to let you introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit about what you do, and I'm going to share to a couple different groups that I belong to with some really cool women in there, and you go ahead and share your story a little bit.
Alrighty. Well, I like your title, All Things Health, because I think the only thing I can say that I do is health, because under the umbrella, I teach. I'm presently a guest teacher. My very first degree was a Bachelor of Science in Phys Ed. So I've always have loved the idea of health and wellness and activity.
Mm-hmm.
From there, I was working with the Alberta Teachers Association for about 5 years as a health education rep.
Right.
So that was kind of cool. I ran around the province and delivered workshops for students and teachers and worked from curriculum. In fact, yesterday I was teaching a grade 1 class, and the teacher had left me a gymnastics unit from the recipe cards of Everactive Schools. And I said, I have those.
Very cool.
Very cool. Other than that, I took a coaching certification, Certified Coaches Federation, to work with one of my friends who is a counselor.
Right.
So I've done a little bit of coaching. And I think I shared with you one of the coolest things for me is when my former students, who are now mothers and fathers, reach out to me to come and have a visit and get, some help, advice, or a conversation.
Yeah.
And other than that, I've partnered with Neora, which is a wellness and anti-aging company.
Yeah.
I'm going to be celebrating my 4th year anniversary here in May.
Is it 4 years, really?
4 years.
Oh my gosh, wow.
Yeah. And then most recently, I've discovered another little science-based company called Juice Plus. And again, everything health. So the science has to support what I choose to investigate. And I use it for overall wellness.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, well, you're hardly even a busy lady.
Not at all. No.
Like, it's peanuts, right? Okay, so I guess we should begin with how did this, so you took, obviously you went to university and you got your degree, you have a degree in, did you say that already?
Yeah, a Bachelor of Science in Physical Education. They would call that, well, that was back in the day.
Back in the day, yeah. What is that called now?
Kinesiology.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I recently talked to somebody who, he's doing the kinesiology thing because he wants to be a football coach, but they need a degree. And so, yeah, he's doing the kinesiology thing too. So that's awesome. So how long did it take for that? How long is that course?
It's a 4-year degree.
Okay.
And then a lot of people will go into medicine or physiotherapy. A few of my friends went and became chiropractors. And a few others went and got their after degrees in education.
Right, okay. So you got your degree, and then what compelled you to join the 2 companies that you are joining now? Give us the scoop on it.
Yeah.
And I just, before you start, I wanted to say, I love that you said it has to have science behind it.
Yes.
I love that, because that is, a lot of the times, is a missing component in a lot of things that are put out in the health and wellness field, right? So I think that's awesome.
Well, I'm bombarded, like I think everybody, if not daily, weekly, with opportunities, and you have to check this, and this doctor says you should do that, and this dermatologist does this. Yeah. And knowing a lot of really awesome medical professionals, I also know some that are not so awesome. So just because it has a doctor's
stamp on it, yeah.
So that's how I determine whether I look at companies or not. I take a look at, do you have clinical trials, not trials, you have trials.
Yeah.
Do you have trials? Do you have white pages for your products? And then that just helps to narrow it down. You know, some people will apply for a job, or some employers will say you need to have a master's. And it's not that you need a master's to do a particular position, but that's what helps them narrow down who they're going to look at. And so that's how I narrow down who I'm going to look at as far as health and wellness products.
Right. That's, yeah, and it is, I think especially today, like not so much before like when those things were coming out before the internet, when you and I were younger. Yeah, exactly. And so people jumped into things with pure, like nothing. There was nothing there. And now the internet is both good and bad, but I mean, at least there is something out there where you can do the research. But social media, as much as I love social media, it pushes so many things that people just think, because I don't even know who to list off the top of my head, but like some famous person is drinking some skinny flat tummy tea, that it's gonna be the best thing ever, right? Like it's for sure it's the best, and it's not
necessarily.
Yeah, and so I know with a few different people I follow kind of in that realm, and I follow people in those realms for different reasons. I'm not following them necessarily for the fitness and health part. I'm following them for the marketing part. Like, how are they doing that? But you get their message through it, and there's a couple that are very prominent, but they're also science related. They really they dive deep into the science part of it, and that's huge. That's huge. Yeah. So when you started with Neora 4 years ago, how did you hear about them, and how did you get started with them?
Well, it was vanity, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had just turned 50.
Yeah.
And I had noticed that I was not quite as toned as I once was in my midsection. Yeah. And I had an acquaintance who was a doctor, and I knew that she was a general practitioner. However, I also knew she had a Medi-Spa. So one night at a fundraiser, I just casually asked her, "Have you heard of anything?" And she said, "Yeah, I have." And that started a conversation and a cup of coffee, and she started sharing this product. Actually, I have it right here.
Yeah.
Firm. And it intrigued me because she was just so nonchalant. And what I mean by that is, sometimes when somebody has a product, their packaging is sometimes pushy.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Very much. Yeah.
And it was like, no, this is a fabulous product. I'd never dreamed as a doctor that I would be involved in a network marketing company. She said, however, her friend who was Allison, an obstetrician gynecologist out of Seattle, had touched base with her and said, this is pretty good stuff. You should check into it. And then another one of her friends is a orthopedic surgeon. So I'm like, this is interesting. What is it about this company that attracts surgeons and medical doctors? And so that did get my curiosity up. And my OBGYN friend, she has actually left medicine now. And she's
really
full on, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
The one thing I want to ask too is, because this is a very common thing, and it was interesting because I had a gentleman on here a few weeks ago, and he was talking about, he's in the industry that I work with, the spray foam insulation guys and gals in that industry.
Yeah.
Did you see him on? He was talking about his men's group, and that was the thing I wanted to kind of touch on, because when people hear the word network marketing, it freaks them out. And I've had this conversation with other people in the realm of network marketing. I've got a number of people, friends that I know, that are doing different things in that sector. And the biggest thing and the biggest conversation we always have is, who shares my stuff? Not my friends and not my family. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? Sometimes friends and family sometimes are not the ones that, like, they love you and all that stuff, but for them to do that, there's that nervousness that if you're going to share a post or you're going to, you know, rah you, now I'm sucked in. Like I don't want to be sucked in. Like I don't want to do that. How do you deal with that? How do you counter that?
Well, it's as a lot of things that we were talking about earlier, it's a social construct.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, network marketing obtained a really horrible name. And yet it's been around for well over 100 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And I blame some of the companies. I blame some of the people who were part of these organizations.
Yeah.
The idea itself, I think, is fabulous because the reality is we do it every day. And I totally understand what you're saying about friends. Like I had one girlfriend who actually approached me and she said, hey, I ran into somebody that knew you at a market in Calgary. And I'm like, oh, is that right?
Yeah.
And I said that you were in the Aura, and they said, well, you should contact her. She goes, well, my husband and I, we want to get involved. I went, wow, super.
Yep.
And then she was on board, and then I said, okay, so it is network marketing. She goes, oh, no,
Yep.
I can't do network marketing. And I went, oh, okay, tell me why. She says, well, can I email you? I went, absolutely. That was 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times people don't even know why they don't like network marketing. They just know that, oh, I don't like network marketing.
Yeah.
But the reality is we network every single day. I advertised the other day on Facebook that I'm loving my Happiness Project book.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm networking with people around the world, and I'm marketing that I'm really enjoying this book.
Yeah.
But it takes, I think people fear, and I mean, my husband said the same thing. He goes, Karen, I wish I didn't care so much what people think, but I do care what people think.
Yeah.
And I said, well, do you believe in the products I'm selling? He goes, 100%. And I know he does because he uses them every day. Right?
In secret.
I said, so then if
he's outed now. Lyndon, you're outed now.
Exactly. So I said, well, then what is so hard about saying, hey, my wife might have a solution for that? And I'm not saying go and spew this all over everybody. I'm saying if you hear someone who has an issue that I could potentially help with, send them my way.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah. It's a funny thing because I guess because when I think about marketing and doing and networking and all of those things, I look at it very differently because I had a conversation yesterday and the comment was, I don't get involved in and it was a business conversation we were having, and they're like, I don't get involved in those like Facebook groups and stuff very much because it's a time suck and those people are there just complaining and carrying on. And I said to them, you know what, I look at that very differently because what you're getting is you're getting the honesty of them because they feel like they can say whatever they want because they're in the confines of a closed group. Pick out what's wrong and then go back in, not on the post, don't go back in and start going, whoa, I think this is what you should do. Create another post educating them. Here's, you know what, I've heard conversations about this and this. Here's maybe a solution. Maybe this will help. Mm-hmm. It's looking at it very differently. And I know people get annoyed with the, people sharing too much and stuff. I always say, and I've said it to you, I've said it to everybody in that industry, I'm going to share the crap out of it because that's how I contribute to your business. I might not have the ability to be a part of what you're doing financially, but I can sure as hell share because it takes me 2 seconds. Like it is not, and nobody I have yet out of anyone that I know that does network marketing hound me. They don't, it isn't a thing. There is no, now you have to join. Will you have a party? Blah, 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 blah. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. I get, thank you for sharing to me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Like, that's how we help each other grow. Mm-hmm.
And I do appreciate it. Thank you.
You always know. And you guys, and it's not, I'm not in it to do get the thanks or whatever. I really feel strongly because you guys work hard for what you do. And if that can help, that's like I said, it takes 5 seconds of my time. Why can't I contribute to what you're doing? I love that you guys are doing your own businesses. And I love that women are, this whole thing about women helping this is how women empower other women. And not be frightened and not be in a competition. It's not a competition. You're helping. You're helping grow, and you're growing with them. Like, it just is.
Well, I believe it's important to have multiple streams of income. And I also believe it's important to support other women. I believe, I heard a statistic once that not most, is it 80% of women who make 100 G or more, it's a United States statistic, are in some form of network marketing.
Yeah.
So yes, support, absolutely. Support people grow. And it might not be your thing. And the thing is, as people, I feel that people who have these different companies, they don't want a one and done. They don't want to push something on you so that you get it one time and you never come back. I honestly have had people where they want to buy something. I'm like, are you sure? Because this is a premium top end product.
Yeah.
Not your over the counter drugstore product, right? So you're going to put out some money, so you need to make sure that this is something you want. And I don't want a person for a month.
Right.
I mean, that doesn't sound right, but I want someone, like Mel Robbins says, it's not a one and done. I want someone that's going to grow with me.
Yeah.
I want to keep my customers like I keep my friends. And I want to expand my business into the 15 countries that we are in right now. So I absolutely want people to love and enjoy the products as much as I do, so that they will want to get involved and become a customer getter like I am.
Right. That's it. It is. It's the slow and steady wins the race. Like, there's all this stuff about hustle and you got to work 24/7, blah blah blah. That's all part. Well, I don't believe in the 24/7 thing, but I do believe in like the hustle and the grind and all that stuff. But it's also slow and steady wins the race. It is long term. If you're in it for one and done, you're in the wrong business. Yeah. So with Neora, they obviously do a lot of good, team building and good things behind the scenes with you guys. Because I can tell by your posts and what you put out there, it's awesome.
Well, Jeff Olson is the founder and CEO.
Yeah.
And he was actually in retirement. Well, he's a billionaire. He does not have the need to build another company.
Right.
This is a legacy company. And he's been well known. A lot of people have read his book, The Slight Edge.
Okay.
Even though they have never even heard of Neora.
Yeah.
So he has been involved I believe that he has been, over the last 20 years, I believe he's been requested to be the keynote speaker for 19 of the 20 for the Worldwide Network Marketing Convention. He missed 1 year because he had our Neora convention on the same weekend.
Wow.
So that tells you that not only is he our guru, he is a guru worldwide for all network marketing companies. Yeah. I've met numerous people who have said, hey, that book, I'm in this other company and we were told to read it. I said, well, that's The Slight Edge. It works for health, it works for financials, it works for everything in life. So yes, so that's a really long-winded answer to yes, there's a lot of professional development.
Yeah. Well, and that's the strength behind a company. And when you have somebody who's leading a company that is like that, who other companies are going to use his book, he is abundance mindset, obviously.
Absolutely. Yeah.
See, that's how you succeed.
And gives back. Like, he actually is also the founder of an organization called Live Happy. And he was instrumental in creating the Happiness Day, which is in March. It's recognized internationally. And he, in his company, Neora itself, is the #1 contributor to Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Oh, wow.
I think right now, I'm guessing a little bit, but I believe the last time I looked at the stats, over the last, Miriam Neora has been around for 7 years now, I believe. And I believe we're at just over 5 million of contributions to Big Brothers Big Sisters, and then in our developing countries that we are also involved in, then the money goes towards World Vision.
Oh, wow.
So absolutely, he's creating a culture of community.
Right. And that's super important. It becomes that space of like we need to hear more about that because everything's so, we don't even want to bring up what's going on right now, but like it's just so much like doom and gloom, and like it's terrible, and when I hear stuff like that, that's where our focus needs to be. That's where if media wants to talk about something, talk about that stuff. Like, yes. You know, like there is good stuff happening, and it'll dispel that myth with some corporations that it's all greed, because that's always the factor in there too. You get people on the soapbox about, you know, that stuff too. Yeah. When in fact behind the scenes people don't know what's going on. There's an assumption made. Mm-hmm. Oh, you know, the evil network marketing companies, and they're huge and they're making all this money, and they're, you know,
and they're making money off their friends. Can you believe that?
You know, all the stories.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
I feel if a person never made a cent in the Neora, mm-hmm. the benefits that they receive just with community and personal professional development is way, oh my gosh, like I've gone to the States. I have spent thousands of dollars to go see people like Eric Worre and Tony Robbins and the gurus.
Yeah.
And I've gone and dropped another couple grand to go to Vancouver once for another conference. Yeah. You know, with again on that one was on bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, just an interest I had, right? It's again in the health field. So to think that you can get involved in this company for I think right now it's $60 without product.
Right.
Okay. And to have your hands on all that free personal professional development, if that's what you're into. But I think it doesn't hurt. Mindset is pretty darn important.
Right. It's the number one thing, and two things: heal from within and mindset. Both, because once you start doing that inside, the mindset does change. Like it's a natural progression, so it will follow, right? So it's those things. When you're in business, it costs business to do business. So yeah, you got to spend some money to do those things. And if it's going to benefit you, like you say, if you don't make a cent, personally, you have grown. You are gaining wealth just by that alone. So talk to me and tell me about the products. Tell me, what is Neora? What is it about?
Alrighty. So the wellness products are something that I'm pretty excited about. I have a little, can you see this little bottle here? Mm-hmm. Okay. This is just a tablet, and it is more than a vitamin mineral supplement because it has the ability to impact mitochondria.
Okay.
Remember Biology 30?
Oh, good Lord, no.
So mitochondria is the powerhouse cell in your body. Okay. So if you can repair that, then you can repair from within. And we talk a lot about healing from within.
Yeah.
This impacts the ability for your mitochondria to repair and heal. And that's crazy. That was not something that happened 20 years ago.
Right.
And Neora, I have to say, Neora makes no medical claims. They can't.
Yeah.
Right? I do have a girlfriend, shout out to Kathy, who had kidney failure. Right. She was on about, I don't even know, 12 to 14 different medications. She was she was in a bad way. And when this product came out, she's like, I'm going to give it a shot. And so she was using the tablet along with this one it's a powder that you just mix up in your water. Mm-hmm. Again. And I mean, what it is vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, superfoods. That one has the ability to make your water alkaline as well. And you know what? Disease doesn't like an alkaline state or that pH in your body. She gave it a shot, and I don't remember how long it took, but I do know that she went back to her specialist. And he said, what have you been doing? And she's got videos on this on Facebook. So she explains it, of course, much better than I do. And she said, wow, all I've changed is this product. He goes, well, can I see it? So she showed him. Can I share it with my colleagues? She goes, absolutely. He goes, look at your results. This is where you were. This is where you are now. So, I mean, it's a piece of paper. That's
Yeah.
right. And so, and then they asked her, could we biopsy your kidney?
Just a small favor.
Okay. Right?
Wow.
So, again, am I telling you that everybody who has kidney disease should be taking this? Absolutely not. What I am saying is it has been helping people to repair different ailments that they have. How or why, I have no idea. I don't think anybody knows. I do know it gave her more energy. It made her feel better. As a result of that, she went out and lost 40 pounds.
Yeah.
She didn't know if she would be here at 50, and now she's looking forward to many, many more years.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah. You just never, you know what, like that, you can go off on a whole tangent about that too, and it's like you have to do the things, you have to find those things that, you know what, they aren't maybe the norm, and they aren't the thing that, okay, take this and over again. You gotta find what, especially if you're in a health crisis, yeah, you gotta try what a little bit outside of the box for sure.
And I'm not saying that then she, spent the rest of her days drinking Coca-Cola and eating donuts.
Right.
I'm going to suggest, and I don't know for sure, but I'm going to suggest that, like, these are supplements. I mean, it's the sleep, it's the water, it's the rest, it's the nutrition you put in your body. It's all those things have an impact as well. So that's always my basics. This is like an add-on. But when you're in a health crisis, you're looking for an add-on.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
The other story I have is EHT, and it's a tablet. And so what EHT does, it impacts your tau protein in your brain. I say brain, but really, it's a brain supplement. But the reality is your tau protein is in every neuron in your body. When your tau proteins tangle, it's like having clutter on a railway track. Messages can't get through, the train can't go from one end from A to B.
Right.
So a lot of people who have had, again, not a medical claim, if you have a tau protein issue, this supplement is going to benefit you. My entire family loves it because, well, aging brain, your tau starts to tangle, right? My children, my one son is still coaching at freestyle skiing. He's an athlete. It helps with muscle recovery and performance. People, plus they often fall on their heads when they're jumping. Yeah. It helps with concussions. Okay, let me rephrase that. It is not, disclaimer, it does not help with concussions. We have given it to people with concussions, and it appears to have helped their tau protein repair.
So is that something that would help with, I don't want to say memory loss, but like,
it helps with focus. Yeah, focus, concentration.
Yeah.
Yeah. People claim they have more clarity. One of my friends who was doing 24-hour shifts as a surgeon at the hospital, the days that she was doing 24-hour shifts, she'd suck back 2 of those babies that try to help her.
Yeah. I find, and I'm asking actually because for myself, I find being 51, my brain, I can no longer remember stuff, and Mike can attest to that, my business partner. Like, I probably drive him nuts because, like, oh yeah, right, oh right. 5 years ago, I didn't have that problem. Like, it just, I don't know, I just say it's my 51-year-old brain and that's what it's doing right now, but like, it drives me nuts.
It's, a lot of people claim, well, increased focus, concentration. You will find your car in the parking lot.
Nice, good. That's important.
Yeah. Where did I put the keys? Where did my cell phone go?
Yeah.
No, it's definitely, it helps. It helps with overall memory, for sure.
Well, I think you and I have to talk after this is done, because it really, being a person that I was in the insurance industry for a long time, so that, like, I took great pride in being able to remember, like, names and just very, like, and could remember them. I can't remember any, like, that stuff. It's not anymore. So we should talk about that more.
Well, so I have an elderly friend, his Ken, who is in his late 80s, and he was in real estate, still is, and he's still in Rotary, and he lives a very healthy, happy life.
Yeah.
He was getting to the point. This is my girlfriend's father-in-law, and he was getting to the point where he was starting to forget names a little bit. Mm-hmm. And they were concerned because he had a little bit of a, they call Audrey Hepburn, you know?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the kids were getting quite concerned that, oh my gosh, what's happening to Dad? And he went on the EHT, mm-hmm. and he was doing much better, and he was remembering people, and then he had to have surgery. So, you know, that's where the rubber hits the road, because when you're about to have surgery, you are off everything.
Yes.
Any supplement he had ever taken, one medication, everything. Had his surgery, and then what they realized is that, oh my gosh, this little head shake started in his back.
Interesting.
So he went back. He's one of my biggest supporters. He shares everything I do. So he went back on the EHT, and you know, a few months later, he was back to. So how? Why? I have no idea.
Yeah.
What I can say is obviously whatever was going on in his brain or in his neurons, because you're from your nose to your brain.
Right.
A tau protein issue, and this supplement took over 20 years. Dr. Jeff Stock to create and to lead and to trial, and they're just still doing trials right now. There's a study going on at Columbia University mm-hmm. with the impact on concussions.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that is, you know, and the thing about concussions, like you're saying, I mean, with sports and kids and like especially like football and hockey and, you know, soccer, I guess, too, like skiing, like all of those things where that can happen. That's a scary, you know, that's a very scary thing. And if there's something like that you can take and it's going to help with that, mm-hmm. Bring it on, for sure.
The same girlfriend who was having such success with her Youth Factor claims that EHT saved her marriage.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Because?
Her husband is a police officer, and between his PTSD and concussions and whatnot, you know how they kind of get their brain changes?
Yes.
He was becoming very argumentative.
Yeah.
And she finally said, I'm done. I'm not living like this anymore. Mm-hmm. And then she actually threw his stuff out on the driveway.
Yeah.
And she said, I want you to try this EHT. And he goes, I'm not trying that.
Yeah.
She goes, well, then we don't have
We're done. Yeah.
And he goes like, oh, serious? He's doing well.
Yeah, you know, it's you can't, I know you can't do the medical claims, but when people start having results like that, do you need to have them? Like it a little bit, it kind of speaks for itself.
But the company is very, what's the word I'm looking for? They dot their I's, they cross their T's. They don't want anything anywhere that is going to, you cannot make false claims. In fact, they have an entire team that does nothing but scour. Scour? Is that the word I'm looking for? Looking through the internet.
Right, yeah.
Anything that might not be legit. And I actually got in trouble. I had an email from compliance. Mm-hmm. And it was, that particular email was about, hey, you know, how would you like to, you know, make an extra $500 a month, or, you know, opportunities for free vacations or a car, and they're like, you can't make that claim. I'm like, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Because that's usually, tends to be the first thing that is pushed out there, right? Like, here's what these are the benefits, I guess.
Yeah. Another time I put on pictures of a young man with acne. Mm-hmm. And I did, you know, the before with the acne and the after without. And it was using a product, like the night cream does wonders for it, but it hadn't been medically studied. So I had another friend of the company say, remove that, because that product has not been specifically studied for that.
Interesting. So they're very due diligence is big time.
My gosh, hand slapped, yeah.
Wow.
So on the one hand, and it makes me very cognizant of what I put out there. On the other hand, I'm like, you know what? I'm really happy to be associated with a company with such high integrity.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like that that takes away a little bit of that fear of network marketing because if they're on top of it that much, because how many people are in the organization, like for them to pick out like a post you did, they are obviously on top of it.
They are.
So how many people are like how many people are in the company?
Oh
Like,
gosh. You know what? I can't even make a guess. I will tell you that we're in 15 countries now.
yeah, so I mean that's a lot of people.
I can also tell you that we're at the third fastest growing company. I believe I don't have my stats right in front of me. I meant to do that in case you asked this question.
Yeah.
But I believe we were third to hit $1 billion, and we were behind Priceline and Groupon.
Wow.
We were ahead of, you may have heard of them, Apple, Google,
Right.
Facebook.
Wow.
So there's obviously a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure. So what other products are, so those are two you mentioned. What other type of products do you guys have? Because I know it's not just, I think sometimes people maybe think it's like, oh, this is a skincare, and which that is incorporated in there, but you guys have got a lot of things.
Well, we do. When the company first started, it had one product. It had night cream.
Yeah.
And I think it's a cool story. Dr. Jeffrey Stock and his team at Sigmund Bioscience. Now, Dr. Jeffrey Stock is also a professor at Princeton University, and he's the head scientist of the labs. And he was studying a cream to cure facial melanoma.
Okay.
The subjects came back, and sadly, they still had their cancer. However, they were very happy about their skin. Their skin was tighter, it was more toned, there was luminosity, the fine lines were disappearing, the deep wrinkles were starting to, become a little more less deep.
Yeah.
And he's like, so maybe I have a product for the anti-aging industry, which is like a $1 trillion industry.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So this was their flagship product. In 1 year, in one country, they sold 100,000 US, was it, or was it 1 million US? I don't know. The numbers were crazy. I know that they are in Inc. 500 as breaking a bunch of records and whatnot.
Right.
So this is probably, I always say, for outside. Okay, I started with inside.
Yeah.
Because healing starts from within.
Yeah, it does. Hashtag that.
Hashtag that, yeah. But this is the product. This is the product that got me excited about the company. This is the product I probably use the most. And if you only ever used one anti-aging product, this would be the one.
Okay.
There's also a day cream, which adds moisturizer and some anti-aging benefits. They've also added a face wash.
Yeah.
That babies to adults can use. The eye serum, I think you've seen some of my posts before and afters, right?
I have some.
That's right.
You sent me some, and which was I got it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so generous. And I have used, because you sent it to me right kind of around my cataract situation, and then my eye infection thing. So that is
planning.
Well, no, it was just, and that eye thing is still ongoing.
you can have them even with an eye infection.
Oh, wow. Oh, interesting.
Mike, do you want a pair?
We'll send Mike some so he can test it out for the man in the spray foam industry.
Great. Yeah. So just like that. For 20 minutes, a little spa treatment.
Wow, that's cool. That's very interesting. I like it. And so it like takes down the swelling or puffiness or what is swelling?
Yeah,
I'm used to my eye thing.
Swelling. Yeah, I guess I didn't go into much detail, but this helps with bags and the dark lines, right?
Yeah.
There's sometimes people are born with deposits in their eyes.
Right.
You have to break that down, and then the body absorbs it. This isn't an overnight thing, though. To have that kind of effect, you have to use it long term. Like, I think they give it at least 6 months, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then you said you also are in a, what was the other company that you've just recently joined?
Juice Plus.
Yes, tell me about. I don't know if I've heard of them or not.
Okay. So, a couple of my girlfriends locally, I mean, they've been advocating Juice Plus forever.
Mm-hmm.
And why I decided to get involved with Juice Plus is because it's a whole food. It's not good food. It looks like this. I don't know if you can see that. So it's just a tablet or a gummy. And it's 45. Like, if you take these tablets, it's equivalent to 45 whole vegetables, fruits, and grains.
Oh, really?
And you can't eat nor afford to buy 45 whole vegetables, fruits, and grains. So I thought, you know what? $100 a month. My husband was like, more supplements.
Like, what are you doing to us?
I'm like, it's just $100. I said, you can't buy that many fruits and veggies for $100, son. Yeah. Not that I don't still eat my fruits and veggies. But this is what really encouraged me. And it's because, I like a good deal, right?
Yep.
So there's a program for healthy families where if you have a child, they can get those for free. So they can get these too, depending if they're older. Or if they're younger or just want to try these ones, they can get the vegetables and the fruit.
Wow.
Because Clayton is still in university, he is considered my child. So I'm like, okay, bring it on.
Yeah.
And I mean, how can you not? I mean, a lot of parents have a lot of trouble putting vegetables and fruit into their children. And that's a whole other conversation. Carla, when I was looking at my notes last night, which we haven't talked about any of them actually, I got thinking, everything to do with health and wellness, like every little component could be a 30-minute session. There's just so much to know. When I was thinking about the fruits and vegetables for children, I think about how many times I've had friends visit. We live in the country. So often when people come over, they spend the weekend or they spend the night. And I've had numerous friends who seriously have had to bring their own food for their kids because their kids don't want to eat what I have in my pantry or my fridge.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And I that may help them get nutrition into their children. I don't know. And the other thing I was thinking last night was, like, what makes me an authority on talking about health or wellness? Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm always second guessing myself and who'd want to talk to me and who'd want to read my blog. And there's so many other people out there that just know so much more than me. And I was kind of going down that,
that spiral.
And then I thought, you know what? I have pretty much been involved in this area my entire life. So maybe I know something. And then it hit me, the proud mama. My 21 and 20, almost 24-year-old, when they go shopping, I see what they bring home and I see what's in their shopping cart.
Yep.
And based on that, I decided that, you know what, I think I do have something to say. Because those kids, they're buying the salmon, they're buying the quinoa, they're getting their asparagus.
Yeah. And I think that's hilarious. I'm going to say that's hilarious. You were going down that spiral. I did the very same frickin' thing yesterday. I was on the phone with Rex and I was having a day and I was in tears at going like, and he's just saying to me like, what do you want to, like, what is it that you want to do? And so I'm like, don't laugh at me. And so I was I want to get the message out and blah, blah, blah. And I said, kind of what I'm doing now, but like, and I said, I think I should be helping people talk about their feelings. And I'm crying through this. But I said, who am I to sit here and be an authority on that? Very same thing. You know what? Yeah, I can talk about it because I've been through stuff. So it is, we do that spiral thing and it can, it just takes you into bad places. But, you are very much, I think you and I have that in common where that we've done a lot of like work on ourselves in this space. And we can come to that point, we might start the spiral, but we can kind of go, hang on a second. So yeah, why can't we? You're damn right we should be talking about it. I agree 100%. And the more stuff people like you and I put out there, more people are going to listen because I think I'm passionate about that because it's regular, everyday people. Why wouldn't you listen to us? We are just like everybody else, and we can share that stuff. No matter what, is how I look at it.
I find it interesting that, so one of my resolutions this year was to be authentic.
Yes.
And that, sounds so, well, of course, aren't you authentic? Don't you tell the truth? Don't you have integrity? Yes and no. Like there's some things that I would like to say that I think, okay, I have to filter that because how is it going to be perceived?
Yes. And it gets, I've done that too, and I touch I touch on things very kind of generalizing. And I thought this year I need to get into that a little bit more, and it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be uncomfortable. Maybe not so much for me, but it could be uncomfortable for somebody else. And you know what? That's on them. And it's not to do it to hurt anybody. It's to do it to be a teaching thing. Mm-hmm. People learn. If you're willing to share stuff, and people that they're watching you, they're reading your posts, they're seeing what you're putting out there, that person who won't speak up is the one that needs to hear it. And it's why I have people come on and talk about, like in the spray foam industry, we did in December, it was, I think the whole month was about addiction and people that have gone through some really hard stuff. And December was kind of a good month because it should be done every month, but December in particular, just because of Christmas and holidays, and that's a bad, sketchy time for people. Mm-hmm. And those, like those guys are sharing stuff that they probably wouldn't do that normally, and it's important. We have to do it. We've got to get it out there. So yeah, you keep talking about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and the other thing I was thinking is if I truly want to be, that health guru that people can come to for help, then I think, I'm not exactly sure how to say this, but I feel that if you just want to get information about nutrition or wellness or fitness they have like 1,010 different diets, which I don't subscribe to, by the way, but in any case, people, they can go and get that from someone. Where I'm feeling that I need to go is, what is holding people back to make that first step towards trying to get healthy? What is happening? What has happened where, for whatever reason, they feel unworthy to make healthy choices? And I really think it starts with like I talk about this physical stuff inside and outside, but the reality is, and my reality is that it starts in your mind first. You make that decision, and then you do the physical action thereafter.
Yep.
So how do we help people?
We share our stories. We share our stories, and we share how we got through it, and how did we come out on the other side. And it isn't a space of, that's where it's not about, this is in my case, and I know in your case, I'm going to assume I know, in your case, that this isn't, it's not a space about like, there's nobody, just, it's not a blaming thing, it's a healing thing. It's a healing thing. And there's a lot of trauma in this world, and I think if you're over the age of probably 3, yeah, there's trauma in various stages. Like I don't think one trauma should not be compared to another. It's what everybody goes through individually, and it just needs to be, there needs to be a space for it to be, you know what, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And let me help you get there. And I think that we do more stuff like this. We have these more conversations. And when you're saying the 30-minute segments, like that you should do a series. Like you should do a video series on that, because it would be helpful. I think that would be awesome.
You know, that's a great idea. I was going to try to keep my conversation with you limited to 20 or 30 minutes, because I know a lot of times people can't take an hour out of their day. Right? And I'm looking at the time and I'm going, oh my gosh, we've already gone like 52 minutes.
It's impossible to have a 30-minute conversation with me. It was funny because yesterday I was on the phone all day yesterday, and it's like, boy, oh boy, like that's a lot of talking, and I'm tired. I can't talk anymore. And for me to say that, that's pretty crazy. But I think it's important. It's hard to put it into 30 minutes. And I know the same thing, like Rex has said to me, you should try probably to like get those down to like maybe shorter. And there's too much to talk about, and it's hard. But I notice Mike put in the links for us in the comments for, you know, some where they can get a hold of you. The other thing I guess I wanted to ask you too, going back to your businesses, is it they reach out to you, is it like, are they, then it becomes you're creating a team, or are they individually, like, are you leading that team then? How does it work? What's the structure of what you do?
It's 100% team.
Okay.
And it's team, whether, you know, if I have customers, I always say, you know, I want you to be part of my team.
Yeah.
And brand partners, again, it's all part of the team. So even though with people like that I only ever talk to, like I am with you, they're still a very important part of the team. And to have them on board and engaged and learning with me, that's how we move forward. Because a lot of times it's the community that helps people to grow and to get the confidence. A lot of people, when they start out with me, they are scared.
Right.
Heck about, oh no, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. And what are people going to think? And I'm like,
yeah,
I'm scared.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Do you guys do, like, do you do a weekly group, like a team meeting? Do you do those things as well? Yeah. Yeah.
So we have a few things going on. The company does a weekly, they call it Miura University.
Yeah.
But we do a weekly event for all of us from around the world. And then we have our individual team meetings as well. So we'll go via Zoom, and that way we can be in touch with people from the United States as well as Canada.
Right.
And then we have our own little, what we call our workout partners.
Oh,
where
nice.
We have people that I'm in contact with people daily, actually.
Yeah.
Because they become your best friends.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, they would. I mean, and I think that's the other thing I appreciate about like that is it brings people together in a good way. You know, it's a good, healthy thing. And, you know, especially what you are doing, that's mind, body, and soul stuff. And that's the most important, right? Like that is so, I think that's great.
And I offer free coaching for any of my team members.
Oh, nice.
So that's how important I feel it is to have everybody, on working together.
Yeah.
Being empowered and encouraged.
Yeah.
Because you're right, like it's difficult a lot of times because you get a lot of people that say no to you.
Yeah.
Well, no, right? And so people have to learn that, it's not a no to you as a person. It's a no, they're not ready to try this product at this time, and that's cool.
Yeah.
For everyone.
Yeah, that's right. And it's that is very key what you said. It's not saying no to you. That is huge because people think it's them, and it's not them. For the most part, it's not them. I like to think.
Granted, there are people that I don't want to work with.
Right, exactly. Like, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the beauty of this business. You can choose who you want to work with and who. And the other thing is, like, I have people, thanks to some of your sharing and some of the posts I've created, I've had people reach out to me that want to be part of the team.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, isn't that cool? So it's a choice. You can choose who you work with, even if you don't even know them. You can decide that you want to be a part of their group, their lives.
Yeah, and that's empowering in itself. It's you get to pick. You are in charge, literally, you get the say. And not everybody is going to be that fit. You have to, that's the beauty of that. You get the freedom to choose, and you get to decide, is that a good fit for you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is key. Well, we're coming on an hour, so do you have anything you want to say just to kind of wrap things up? I want you to come back, so we'll have more conversations. We got a lot more to talk about, I think, about different things.
Certainly do. Yeah, a lot of healing from within.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. I have been what I want to say is I've been very poor at my blog. So I do have my Wellness with Carolyn website on there.
Yeah.
However, where people will get the most benefit right now is in my Healthy Vibrant You Facebook group. That I'm really good at being there once a day and having challenges, recipes, leaving tips, and really encouraging people that want to come out and learn, but also professionals out there who want to come and contribute. I think having a conversation with everybody is so important.
Right. Yeah, and it's for men and women, correct?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I know that a lot of the people that reach out to me at former students are male. And I also have a lot of, our company is about 40% men for brand partners.
Nice.
Can you believe that?
I like this trend that I'm seeing with men being more open about, I don't want to, being more touchy-feely, in their feelings. I like that they're starting to share more and be more, they're okay to be not okay, and not that strong man thing that blah, 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 drives me crazy. But, there seems to be a bit of a trend going where you can still be a strong man, but you can be, it was actually, Corey said it best, it's healthy masculinity.
And which is in itself strong.
Yes.
Just like we talked about how we don't think the definition of healthy should be skinny, I don't think the definition of strong should be silent and withdrawn and not going to talk about that.
Right. So important. Such a bad message, that one. Yeah. That whoever started that one, bad on them.
Oh, remember sugar and spice and everything nice.
Right? So many bad things.
Yeah.
But we're going to work at changing that dynamic and that conversation. So come back. You and I'll be talking behind the scenes anyways. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on. It was awesome.
Thank you for having me. I was so nervous, and of course, you always make it so easy.
Yeah, you did. It's never to be nervous. It's just we're just having a conversation. Yeah. So, but yeah, definitely I want you to come back. So yeah, you have a great Saturday.
Thank you.
And everybody else that's out there that joined us, thank you for joining us, and we will catch you guys all next week. Have a great day. Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.